Hello everyone, I am Rahul and today we are going to discuss about Bragg's law and its derivation. Whenever we want to understand the structure of a solid material, we use a technique known as X-ray diffraction. In this method, we take a crystalline sample of the solid material and we make X-rays to pass through this crystalline material. Based on the diffraction pattern generated by the reflected X-rays, we can determine the structure of any solid material. But the important thing about this X-ray is not all the reflected X-ray will contribute toward the diffraction pattern. Reflected X-ray will only generate the intense peak, also known as Bragg's peak, of reflected X-rays. If the interference between these reflected X-rays is constructive, if the interference between the reflected X-rays is not constructive, they will not contribute toward the diffraction pattern and will not result in intense peak of reflected X-rays. So it's important to understand that which condition needs to be satisfied to generate a reflected X-ray which contribute to the diffraction pattern of a crystalline sample. And this is determined by Bragg's law. So what is Bragg's law? Bragg's law is simply described as n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta, where n is an integer value describing the order of the reflection. Lambda is the wavelength of the incident X-rays. D is the interplanar spacing of the crystal and theta is the angle of incidence. This formula was proposed by Lawrence Bragg and his father. William Henry Bragg in 1913. They were the first one who observed that when X-ray is passed through a crystalline material, they generate a specific pattern, and an intense peak of reflected X-ray is observed only when this condition n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta is satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, you will not observe a Bragg's peak, or in general known as the diffraction pattern of reflected X-rays. So now we will derive this formula, which is n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta. So as we all know, in a crystalline sample, the molecules are arranged periodically. They have a specific distance which are repeated again and again, and the pattern is consistent in 3 dimensions. So within a molecule in a crystalline sample, atoms are arranged periodically. So let's consider a plane where atoms are arranged in a planar fashion. Now let's consider another plane where, because it's a periodic system, atoms are in another plane, atoms are arranged periodically. Let's call this plane X and let's consider this plane Y. Now an incident X-ray of wavelength lambda is interacting with an electrons present in this atom, and it is reflected. The wavelength of this X-ray is lambda. So now let's consider another wave coming, and it's interacting with the an atom present on the plane y. So it comes like this. It has a wavelength lambda and it's also reflected like this. Now, since we want to construct the interference, the phase of the incident X-ray of these two should be equivalent to the phase and amplitude of the reflected X-ray. So the phase and amplitude of the incident X-ray should be equal to the amplitude and phase of the reflected X-ray. But as you can see, the wave which is interacting with an atom present on plane y is traveling longer than the wave which is interacting with an atom present on plane x. First, let's consider this is the interplanar distance between these two planes d. Now, if we consider this, let's consider this A, B, C and O. Now, this wave which is interacting on plane y is traveling an extra distance, and this, for the phase of this incident wave and for the phase of this X-ray to be equivalent to the phase of the X-ray which is passing through plane x, we should have this condition satisfied, that the extra distance traveled by this X-ray should be equal to the integer value multiplied by the wavelength of the X-ray. So this is the extra distance traveled by plane interacting, extra distance traveled by X-ray interacting with an atom present on plane y. Now let's consider angle. Let's consider a triangle BOA. Here it is 90 degree. This is also 90 degree. We can consider any triangle. So let's consider triangle, a right angle triangle BOA. Now this is D. Now if we consider the sin theta formula implied on a right angle, we will have sin theta equal AB by D, and hence AB is equal to D sin theta. Now coming back again to the same diagram, since the phase and amplitude of the incident X-ray is equivalent to the reflected X-ray, we will have AB is equal to AC. So this equation can be then written as 2AB equal to n lambda. And now substituting the value of AB from here into this equation, we'll have 2D sin theta equal n lambda. So this is the derivation of the Bragg's law. Only if this condition is satisfied, you will observe a diffraction pattern from a crystalline sample. So let me know how you think about this explanation given by me. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you want to know about any another topic related to crystallography or structural chemistry or in chemistry in general, please let me know. Please comment, please subscribe. Thank you.